Okay, welcome back to part 2. Sorry I had to quickly run in the shops there. We left off with Blade. Anything else we got left on to say on that subject?
Yeah, we were talking about Fantastic Four a little,
Yeah.
because as you probably got a bit of a trend going on here with we don't have much detail, so we can't really go
Yeah.
into things. So that's going to change though. It's coming. You'll have to
Yeah.
stick to the end of the video to watch it.
Yeah, he has some secrets he's not saying until the end, so. But yeah, as long as they do the Fantastic Four okay, I'm okay with that. I don't care who the cast is, as long as the actors are good. And of course, it's comic booky. That's all I care. God, if they go serious.
Also, I changed my shirt.
Yeah, you changed the shirt. Magic superpowers. There we go.
I've decided if X-Men can mess with continuity, so can I.
Yeah, there we go. I probably should have done that as well, but oh well, too late now. I'll just say I've got my sugar-free iron brew here, so that's about it. So I think that's basically everything we've got to say on the non-comic book companies that are making movies, basically. So, should we talk Marvel or DC first? I'll leave it up to you.
Let's go DC.
Let's get the worst out of the way first.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way. It's like a band-aid. It's better if you just rip that sucker off fast.
We're going to talk about the movies and, of course, the TV series as well, because I actually have a bit to say about the TV series, but we'll go movies first. Of course, we have to talk about the current movies that are out already, the most recent ones. Let's talk first. Let's get the Dark Knight trilogy out of the way. First two movies are brilliant. I love them.
Yes.
Especially the Dark Knight, even though there are some problems with it, I won't lie. Heath Ledger, in my opinion, that's not a Batman movie, that's a Joker movie. Because it's more about Heath Ledger than the Joker that is Batman.
Look at the following that the Joker has. I think one of the main reasons why Batman is so popular is because of the Joker.
Yeah, the Joker is...
Your hero is only ever as good as your villain.
And the Joker's been around since... It has been around as long as Batman has. If memory serves me, he was his first villain, I think. I'm not too sure.
Like I'm pretty sure you're right. The first Batman solo comic he got to himself, I think Joker was his first film.
Yeah, and of course he was supposed to be killed off at the end of it, but he wasn't, which, good on you. And
yeah, could you imagine if they did that? They actually just got rid of the Joker then and there. Comics would look completely different.
Yeah, they would.
Completely different.
They would. And as it is, my opinion is that The Dark Knight is only considered the best Batman film is because it's the best Joker film. I'm saying that right now. I love Jack Nicholson's Joker, but Heath Ledger is the best.
I prefer Heath Ledger.
Yeah, Heath Ledger.
I prefer, hand on heart,
yeah.
I prefer Heath Ledger because he's a killing Joker.
Yeah.
Which is my favourite type of Joker. That is how I view the Joker. Jack Nicholson's Joker is more of the playful Joker.
Yeah. More the 60s Joker.
Yeah.
He's more Joker.
Even in the comics, there was times when he was like that a lot. I enjoy Jack Nicholson's Joker. I still think he's a great Joker. But for me, Heath Ledger is the definitive movie.
And I agree with that. He's the best movie Joker in my opinion. And that also moves into The Dark Knight Rises, where, in my opinion, you can blatantly see that was written for the Joker, not Bane. In my opinion.
Yes, I do.
You can tell.
Yeah, it does seem they kind of, instead of tying it back into the Dark Knight, which I think they were intending to do originally, with they instead will say, well, we've got this from Batman Begins with the whole League of Shadows or League of Assassins, whatever they were going with under the Nolan verse, but it's just like we've got this. So they were always trying to destabilize Gotham, so it's just like, we can tie it back into that. Yeah. And I do think it was maybe going to be the Joker again.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I do think the actor who portrayed Bane did a decent job, except for the fact you can't understand him 90% of the time.
Tom Hardy was great in that film.
Yeah, I liked him.
I enjoyed him. It was unfortunate that it had that thing over his mouth that was restricting him talking. It was... It was a shame. He was great. His presence on screen was amazing, but it was a shame that we could understand him half the time because of that clasp over his mouth.
Yeah, and that was my main problem. I think he did a good. He had that presence where if I'm going to break you, I'm going to break you, and he did break the bat in a way which let's face it, the only reason that scene's in the movie is because if they didn't put it in, comic book fans would have lost their fucking shit. So they had to have break the back. So, yeah. And I'm going to say this right now, I did not like Catwoman. I did not like Anne Hathaway's Catwoman.
I didn't mind her. It's probably a good thing that she wasn't in the movie all that much, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I didn't mind her.
Yeah.
You know, I think that is actually possibly worse than saying I hated her.
Yeah.
For me, because she just was there.
Yeah, she was just there.
Which, for an actress, you don't want to be just there. You want to be on screen, giving it, you want to at least stand out, good or bad. Yeah. At least we've got an opinion. You don't want to be just there.
Yeah, and
she was almost like set dressing.
Yeah, that was the best way I can sum her up in a nutshell as well. And as I say, is just the overall feel of The Dark Knight Rises was just not that good. It was blatantly written for something else, and they just tossed shit together, and it was a disaster in my opinion. And
it was just good. Good.
Some parts are good, some parts are horrible, and for me,
it's the whole Robin thing.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I still love how
you've made me remember that.
Yeah, Robin.
I hate you for that.
Yeah, the detective whose name I can't remember whose real name is
why
Robin.
Don't you use your real name? Oh,
Robin. I'm like, oh god damn it. I still love how it should have ended version of that, but basically he gets into the Batcave and it's just like the Robin outfit, the classic Robin outfit from the 60s up there, and he's just like, oh hell no, I'm out here. I still love that, but yeah, you can tell that they were going to go with another Batman film where he was Batman, but I was like, really? You couldn't just go Robin?
I only would have been happy if they went with that, if it was Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson had been established earlier, and Dick Grayson became Batman, like in the comics.
But no, they didn't. They went too serious with it, but that's beside the point. And of course, we have to talk about the other DC film, which the shirt of yours sort of represents, Man of Steel. This is probably one of the there's literally two sides to the argument. You either hate it or you love it. And I'm the small majority that's like, I like some parts of it, but I hate other parts of it.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the middle.
I'm going to come out and say there are things I don't like about it, but I'm going to come out and just say it on record in front of more viewers than what my channel gets, but I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like some aspects of it. I hate other aspects of it.
The main reason I like it is because it's like the Earth One comic book.
Fair enough.
Essentially, they did a movie version of the Earth One comic book. In fact, the Earth One comic book's better. Go and get the Earth One graphic novel. It's really good.
I'll need to pick that up eventually. But my main problem with the film is the problem that I think the majority of people have with it. They tried to make him too much like Batman in a way. It felt Batman-y. That's my main problem with it.
Yeah, we didn't even get Clark Kent. Not really. His disguise, the reporter, we didn't get that. We saw him at home with his family. That was fine. You're getting Clark Kent then. But I don't know. I would have liked to have seen him adopt the disguise, of Clark Kent.
Same here, but it's just it basically was Nolan trying to make a Batman film without Batman. That's my main problem with it. While it still had some good elements and still felt kinda like a Superman film, it was also too realistic for my liking.
Well, wasn't Nolan just a producer on that? He was a producer. Too much of a hand directing.
He was a producer, but he probably had some influence in it in some way, shape, or form. And also, I think it was the same studio that made the Dark Knight trilogy, so.
It was Goyer, wasn't it?
Not too sure.
David Goyer. I think it was David Goyer.
I can't remember the actor's name. I did have the film. I bought the film, which means I can enjoy and watch it as a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, I bought the film.
Yeah, I can enjoy it as a sci-fi movie. I can't enjoy it as a Superman movie, personally.
Did you think that the bit on Krypton was actually quite possibly the best bit?
Probably, yeah.
I wanted to see the entire film set on Krypton. They had dinosaurs and dragons.
Yeah.
Like, what's his dad's name?
Jor-El, is it?
Jor-El.
Yeah.
Yeah, the comic book guy doesn't know the Kal-El's dad's name, whatever. I wanted to see more.
Yeah,
It looked
it was
so
pretty
cool. They had all this stuff and things happening, and I'm just like, this is awesome.
Yeah, wow.
And then it ended.
Yeah. I'm going to say,
that.
also the main problem I had with the film is it was too depressing for my liking for a Superman film. Like,
I agree completely.
It's too depressing.
Superman should be bright and hopeful.
Yes, bright and hopeful.
That is what you read.
Yeah.
A Superman comic book for. It's bright and it's hopeful and he saves the day.
About halfway, just every like sad scene, I was like, I feel like, what the fuck? Come on, please be happy for once. And also, I don't. This is just some fan speculation, but see on Jor-El's armor, there's an outline of a bat symbol.
I think it's a coincidence.
Probably, but I just like to think that Jor-El is a secret Batman fan.
I think if you look at anything long enough, like clouds, if you look at a cloud long enough, it can resemble whatever you want it to be. I think it was just a coincidence.
Yeah, I just like poking at the fans sometimes. I'm just like, well, listen, even Jor-El likes Batman more than Superman. He wanted to name his son Bruce Wayne, but his wife wouldn't let him.
That sounds like an Earth name, darling.
Yes, of course. But yeah, my overall problem with Man of Steel is it's too depressing for a Superman film, so I can enjoy it as a sci-fi film.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I can see it as a Superman film, but there are aspects that needed to be addressed badly.
And I'm not even going to mention the Jesus symbolism. That's just that. There's been plenty of that in the comic books as well, I'm sure.
Yes, it's if you're essentially doing the whole Jesus symbolism thing, it's in the comics as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like...
Yeah.
It's like I said before, you can read anything into anything if you look hard enough.
And me personally, I try to not to read too much into my first viewing. I go, let's see if I at least enjoy this.
Yeah, it's the way you should look at anything. Just if you enjoy it, it's fine. I don't like ragging on the people who really enjoyed it, who thought it was great.
Yeah,
I liked it. I thought it was good. I think there's some things that could have been done better.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to rag on them just because they enjoyed it. If they enjoyed it, good on them.
All I can say, it's not Superman Returns.
Superman Returns did some things right.
It did some things right, but it did a lot of things wrong.
I actually didn't like Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor until about my third viewing, where I actually really enjoyed him as Lex Luthor.
It was over the top, I'll give him that. I liked it was over the top.
It needed to be over the top.
Yeah. I like his performance, he's just over the top, but yeah, that's beside the point. Is Superman Returns is the film that a lot of Superman fans say didn't happen. It didn't happen. But yeah,
they kept it in continuity, didn't they? It was technically the 5th.
It was technically the 5th. Yeah, I've got the anthology over there and a pile of DVDs from 1978 to 2008. So they kept it in timeline. Yeah, they tried to, didn't work out too well. So we got a reboot, which was depressing and felt like hanging yourself halfway through.
How did you feel about Brandon Routh as Superman in Superman Returns?
I think they didn't give him enough opportunity to be Superman.
I really enjoyed him.
I liked him.
At some points, he seemed to be channeling Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
I was just like, he was a really good Superman.
Yeah, and
I enjoyed him as Superman.
I liked him, but I think they could have given him more to do, like they did with Arrow, where he's now Ray Palmer, which we'll get to in a minute. So
yes.
But yeah, I guess we'll have to talk about the elephant in the room. Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, which is one of the worst movie titles I've heard in a long ass fucking time.
Wait. Dawn of Justice? Does that mean Justice League?
No, Justice League films after this.
But it's Dawn of Justice. Do
Yes.
you mean this is leading into a Justice League film? I would never have guessed.
Yeah, I would never have guessed that.
You're shitting me, DC, right? Dawn of Justice? You're making a Justice... Oh, that title is just so clever. I never saw it coming. My God. Oh.
Yeah, they're gods. They're gods among comic books, yeah. Okay, firstly, I'm going to say this right off the bat. I am not judging Ben Affleck as Batman until I see his performance.
He could be great.
I did that with Heath Ledger. I'm not doing it with Ben Affleck because
I didn't do it with Heath Ledger. I did initially. I thought like it's going to be 10 things I hate about Batman. A Dark Knight's Tale. But then I thought, hang on, wait, it's actually good.
Yeah.
Look at what we got.
Yeah, he was a great character actor. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. But yeah, as is, I'm not judging Ben Affleck. I'm saying that right now. And we know, you notice we didn't mention Henry Cavill when we were talking about Man of Steel. I'm going to say this right now. One film a Superman doth not make.
Especially when we didn't really see him as Clark Kent.
Yeah. Until we see him as Clark Kent and Superman, I'm not going to judge Henry Cavill because overall, he does look the part.
I've got to say, just briefly, he's a great inspiration for children.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does his part of... he was saying in an interview that when he was younger, he was bullied, he was overweight, and now I'm Superman.
Yeah.
So, it's like, I think he's great as an inspirational role model for children.
Yeah.
I really do. And that's just the person.
He's a good man. So... He's a good person. I'll give him that, as is. And until I see him really...
Do you know what he does when he's not in the films? He hangs out in bars. I'm like, just like a normal guy. He's like, that's really normal. Yeah. And then a lot of people started saying, like those sites that cover news in America, like, is Henry Cavill an alcoholic? Just went to a bar.
Yeah, just went to a fucking bar. What's the problem? Yeah, no, not raging on those certain news networks that I do not care about because they are the scum of the earth and literally Satan. But yeah, as is, until I see him do another Superman film, because in all honesty, even Christopher Reeves, even though the first Superman film is brilliant, it took him at least 2 movies to get the role perfect, in my opinion. So
yeah, Henry Cavill was a good Superman. I think he could possibly be a good Clark Kent too. Yeah. But we need to see him as Clark Kent.
Yeah, we need to see
that. And that doesn't mean when he's with his family, because his family knows who and what he is. Mm-hmm. It's so they know him. They know what he can do.
Yeah.
It's the same way they introduced Lois Lane, and it's like she knows what he can do. We need to see him be Clark Kent now. Mm-hmm. We've seen him as Superman. He's a good Superman. I want to see a good Clark Kent. That's what we need.
Yeah, and so we'll have to wait until Man of Steel 2 comes out, because Batman vs Superman isn't Man of Steel 2. It's DC panicking and realising they need to make a Justice League film as soon as fucking possible if they want to rival Marvel, which they never will do.
They're playing catch up.
They're desperate.
They're really playing catch up.
And of course, we have to talk about, same thing with Gal Gadot, by the way. I'm not going to judge her until I see it, but even I have to go, the Wonder Woman outfit looks like a Cena prop.
Yes.
It looks like a Xena prop.
When I saw it, I actually thought Xena.
Yeah, same.
But I actually like it.
It looks alright.
Armor.
Yeah.
It could be more colourful. Let's face it. The
picture was dark.
The pictures that were used, even for Superman's one, all the colour was like washed out of the Superman one, because it was dark. Gal Gadot's was the same. It was a dark picture. Mm-hmm. I think they're trying to get across dark night.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I think it could be brighter on, on set. When we'll have to wait see it. It could look a lot better.
We'll have to wait and see as is. I will not judge Gal Gadot until I see her as performing as Wonder Woman. But even I'll admit, I'm a little bit skeptical on her because I just don't think she looks...
She's bulked up.
She's bulked up, which I'll give her props. That's what they had to do. They had to bulk her up as well, but
she was way too skinny. She was in one of the Fast and Furious movies. She was way too skinny in that. Yeah, let's face it, those are Vin Diesel movies, and in it he plays himself.
Yeah.
She was way too skinny.
Yeah.
I actually went when it was announced she was going to be Wonder Woman and watched that movie. Oh God, I'll never watch it again. But I went and watched that movie. They're not my sort of films.
Same,
and as soon as I clapped eyes on her, she was in a bikini. I was like, that's Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Way too skinny. I'm guessing if they're going with the whole, her strength is supernatural, I can get behind that.
I guess.
But...
As is, the main thing that'll come down to me is can she have the presence of Wonder Woman? That's the thing that's going to be the problem. Like, you can't just play Wonder Woman, you have to embrace the role and have that presence about you, because you're going up against 2 guys who are taller than you and more iconic than you in some way, shape or form.
When they actually had her, maybe she was in heels, they had her stood next to the other 2, I think it was at Comic-Con. The heights, actually, I thought were fine.
Yeah, for some people,
she could have been in heels. You know,
yeah.
they'll probably like put platforms on her boots
probably.
or
something like that.
Something like that, and it'll work out. What trick photography?
Yeah,
I'm sure they're going to do something where she's going to look imposing, but she really needs to work on body size, because let's face it, her costume is kind of revealing. We're going to see her arms. We're going to see her legs.
Yeah, and
she's going to need to be kind of built for that.
Not well toned, not built, like toned, like a toned body for Wonder Woman.
Toned.
Like,
it's I'm not talking like
not venom induced muscles.
Let's just get one thing out of the way, and this was also the reason for the shirt change, which is this isn't a Superman film.
Nope.
Let's just get it out of the way.
And there we go. It's a Batman film.
It's a Batman film.
Yep. There's no way to get about it. It's a Batman film. Because...
Well, those Batman films made a shit ton of money.
Yeah, they make a fuck ton of money. And also from... Now, I haven't watched any of the leaked footage because I want to go into this film as unspoiled as possible. I have seen the clip. I have seen the picture of Batman and the Batman armor from...
you couldn't escape that picture.
Yeah, you couldn't escape it at all. And I'm going to say this right now. If they're going Frank Miller Batman from the Dark Knight comic book, I'm not happy.
Why?
Don't get me wrong.
That's a good outfit. I like that. I like that outfit.
I like the outfit. What I'm going here with is, I've not read the Dark Knight comic book. I'm sorry. It's something that I need to pick up on eventually. But I have seen the animated movie version of it, and I enjoyed it. It was a good film. It was a nice wee Batman animated film. I just don't like Frank Miller's Batman, in all honesty.
Frank Miller, he does some things great and some things terribly. If I remember right, he's the guy who did Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, he definitely is.
He did the Dark Knight Returns, and also his masterpiece called Holy Terror.
Let's just... In one of the panels, I can't remember which one this is, for Frank Miller's Batman, he actually says, "I'm the goddamn Batman."
That's an all-star Batman and Robin.
That is not all-star Batman and Robin, is it?
That is all-star Batman and Robin.
Oh, God. That's Grant Morrison, isn't it?
No, that's Frank Miller.
That's Frank Miller. Oh, well, fuck those comics. I hate those. Oh, yeah, I've remembered. Seriously, fuck, yeah. He says, "I'm the goddamn Batman." You do realise that's a joke, right? Yes. You should be saying that.
Yes, and it's also the one in which him and Black Canary have sex in the middle after stopping a crime.
Fuck that Batman.
So yeah, that's my main problem. I do not like the Frank Miller's Batman because he's too brutal and also a bit of a sexist pig.
Batman should be brutal, though, really. I think
there's a certain level of brutal to the point in which giving a child a battle axe to cut off the head of the person that killed his parents. Yeah, not that brutal.
Also, there was the Robin we never got from the Dark Knight Returns comics, Carrie Kelly.
Yeah, I count her.
Likes that Robin.
I count her as a Robin, for those who are wondering.
She became Catgirl, I think, in the one after that. And that comic, the follow-up to Dark Knight Returns was terrible. Don't bother with it.
Yeah, she became Catgirl.
Carrie Kelly was an awesome Robin. Yeah. I really enjoyed her.
I like the performance in the movie, in the animated movie. I do need to read the graphic novel eventually, but I like the movie.
So what do we think about the possibility of Nightwing for Batman vs Superman? It hasn't been outright said he's in it. They seem to have some guy cast who may or may not be Nightwing.
Yeah. As long as they do it right, I'm okay with that. As long as they introduce, but the same thing is though, they've not done what Marvel did, and that's build it up, introduce the characters first, and establish them. They're just okay, we need Batman, we need Superman, we need Wonder Woman, and we need Nightwing.
In this movie, they need to establish that Nightwing was Robin as well. Dick Grayson, parents killed. We need to establish all this in one movie.
In 2 hours
at most. It's a lot of build. It's a lot of build up.
That's my main problem with that, is because they're not going to be able to do it. I highly doubt they're going to be able to introduce Batman, Wonder Woman, and establish their characters. So yeah, that's
we all know who Batman is. Apparently, we don't spend too much time with Batman.
Yeah, as long as we don't spend a lot of time with it.
We spend more of it with Superman, so I'm excited. Apparently, the film opens on Aquaman, of all people. Jason Momoa.
I'll say that
he's gonna make Henry Cavill look tiny.
Yeah, if you don't know who Jason Momoa is, he is Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones, and also the guy from Stargate Atlantis. What's his name? Can't remember his name, but
asking the wrong person.
He's built. He is a beast, and I'm going to say this right now. Him as Aquaman, I approve.
I also approve. I really do hope they go with Jeff Johns, the new 52 Aquaman, because Jeff Johns did such a good job of making him relevant again. He was a joke for such a long time, and he really made him relevant.
I'm one of the very rare people that never saw him as a joke, because I watched Justice League, the animated series, and he's awesome in that. And I've always seen that.
He became a joke, like with Robot Chicken. I think others have done it as well. With just like Aquaman he can only talk to fish. That's his only power. And like Jeff Johns brought him back, made him powerful. It's just like the Throne of Atlantis. My God, that's brilliant.
We can't forget the new Aquaman movie that's coming out, the animated one, which looks awesome. I'm not gonna lie, but let me just establish what
the Throne of Atlantis.
Yeah, I can't wait.
You know, I was recommending it.
I need to read that.
Enjoy it.
And of course, we have to talk. Let me just say this now.
I'll just get the movie. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah. Here's the thing: Aquaman can talk to fish. Yes. He also survives 14 atmospheres at the bottom of the ocean, so his skin is virtually bulletproof. In fact, it is bulletproof.
If he comes to the surface due to the pressure, if he gets shot with the bullet bounces off. It leaves a little cut.
Yeah, he's just like, ow.
He caught a building.
Yeah, it's caught a building.
There were people inside the building. The building was collapsing on them. He caught it and stopped it falling on them.
He's super strong.
He caught a tanker that was careening into the mainland. He caught it and put it back. Aquaman is awesome.
Aquaman's awesome, and I can't wait to see Jason Momoa, because in all honesty, he deserves a superhero role because he is awesome. Like, even in fucking Game of Thrones, where he barely said a fucking word, he had that presence where you don't fuck with me.
He could just sit there, and you knew shit were going down.
Yeah.
Just like you knew in his head, he'd already decided what he was going to do. Is just like keep talking because these are the last words.
Yep.
And I can see him as Aquaman. I really can. I think he's going to be fantastic.
So, I'm hoping he does a good job, and of course he does move on to do his own film. So I am hoping that Batman vs Superman is good. I just have very little hopes for it, and I really do hope they at least keep the cast. And while we're on that topic, we might as well talk about the DC TV series as well. So let's talk about the first one that's got. Firstly, we're not talking about Smallville. No, that goes away.
That's a series that's ended. It's a couple of years old now. Everyone who's got an opinion on it has formed their opinion.
Yep, and if you don't know what my opinion is, it was good at some points, it was horrible at other points, and it went on way too fucking long. That's my review. But we'll have to talk about, of course, Arrow, because that is the one that is kind of booted off this whole DC TV series thing. And I'm going to be honest, the first season of Arrow I thought was okay, but the second season is where things went, oh fuck yeah.
They nailed it. The first one wasn't comic booky. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, same
here. I'm not going to say it was terrible, but I still enjoyed it. Yeah. I did think it was a bit Nolan.
Yeah.
Season 2, they nailed it.
Yeah, they really did. Booky, and I love that. I absolutely love that. I love that they just says, right, you know what? We're in a comic book universe. Let's fucking run with it. And I'm going to say this right now. Deathstroke, mwah. I fucking loved him.
You see, this is where I'm the more comic booky sort of person. I really enjoyed him.
Yeah.
There was some things I wish were a little different, but that's comic book perspective nitpicking. But I really enjoyed him. I can't say he was terrible. He was really good.
I love that they just went full comic book and says, yeah, he's got superpowers basically.
They explained it fair enough, just like Mirakuru and all that bullshit. But it's just like I was fine with it.
Yeah,
I really was. It's just that, they changed his origin, but I wasn't super. I wasn't gutted or anything. It was just like, well, different origin.
And I liked Arrow. I really think it's a good one. Stephen Amell in my opinion, is a great Oliver Queen. I think he's done it. He's embraced that role very well. And of course, that eventually led to The Flash.
Just one thing about Stephen Amell as well.
Yeah.
Have you noticed as well when he's as Oliver Queen, he's, the playful, the whole, and someone could say, I need a word, and he'll literally just like turn away, and his face has changed completely. It's like, what do you need?
Yeah.
It's just like, there is literally two sides to him, and it's sometimes, they get right, Stephen Amell gets that right, where sometimes the Batman films fail.
Yeah. And Stephen Amell
so if they're getting that right, where it's just like, he's a playboy millionaire, a poor man's Batman, some people call him. I disagree.
Same, I disagree.
But he gets that right.
Yeah, he gets that.
So it's literally, he can literally just turn his head. It's just like, I'm presenting this smiley, happy face to you. You need a word, and it's just like his face has changed, just like all business.
He nails that expertly, and of course with season 3 premiere, which I have watched the first episode of, you can tell things are building up because there's the League of Shadows, which they introduced in Arrow, and Ra's al Ghul is going to be in it.
Ra's al Ghul, the series.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched the first episode. I wait for British airtime.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, this is they introduced Barry, the Atom. What's his name again? I forgot. Ray Palmer, who is played by the person who plays Superman in Brandon Reynolds. And I'm saying this right now. He's awesome. He kind of comes off as a bit of a Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, but has his own little flair to it, which is still good.
When they said they were putting an Atom in it, I haven't seen it yet, so it's just like, I'll have to reserve judgment. But when they said they were putting Atom in it, I was like, what?
Yeah,
really? You've been listening?
Yeah, and of course we can't talk about that without mentioning The Flash. I have seen the first episode, but I won't spoil it for anyone, because that is very decent. But when
also Katana, the series of Arrow. Yeah. So I haven't seen her yet. They picked a great actress. Nice. I'm sure it's going to be the bit in China.
Probably. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, they haven't done that yet in the season yet.
I think he's going to be training with Katana.
That should be awesome.
Which is going to be great. I can't wait to see Katana in live action.
Yeah,
it's just like she didn't really get a chance in the comic books, so I'm happy to see more of her.
I like the fact that they are not using a lot of the A-list villains. They're using some of the slightly more obscure ones and also some obscure superheroes as well. And of course, we may as well talk about Barry Allen's Flash, which, I'm going to say this right now, I've seen the first episode. I have never felt like I've watched a superhero movie like I have watched in that episode. It was...
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it felt like a superhero movie. I'm saying that
I can talk about some of the things I have seen, but I haven't watched the first episode yet. I will be watching it as it airs. Yeah. I will.
I won't spoil it for anyone, don't worry.
It looks like the Flash. I'm not too keen on the suit. I will say that I'm not 100% on the suit. I prefer the spandex. It makes more sense for running and what he actually does.
Yeah,
the leather seems a bit cumbersome, but maybe...
They have explained it a little bit. I won't say how, but they have explained it a little bit. And I'll say this right now, they're doing the same thing with Arrow. It's comic booky, which I love. And I love that.
Good!
And it's awesome.
I mean, they've introduced... I don't know if this was first episode or not, but Weather Wizard is in it.
Yep.
Or he's coming to it, so I don't know.
He's in it.
Captain Cold.
He's coming in and he's played by Whitworth Miller.
And he looks amazing. He's actually wearing the parka.
Oh,
I saw the picture of him holding the gun as well. I was just like, that looks so good.
They've embraced the comic booky feel of it, which I love.
With one picture, I wanted Rogues. What's it called? Is it just called Rogues series?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
No. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I think they're just called the Rogues. There's Captain Boomerang, Captain Cold. There's a few of them. The Rogues. I'm forgetting. I'm sure they're called something else.
They've only introduced one or two essays without going into spoilers. I can't say a lot of stuff, but they have done a really good job. And also, the original Flash from the TV series in the 90s, I think it was.
Yes.
He does make an appearance in the first episode.
Oh, does he? That's fantastic.
I won't say what role he plays, but he is in the show in some way, shape, or form.
That's great. I'm happy.
It took me a second viewing to realise it was him, but
I watched that series in the 90s.
You'll recognise him. You'll recognise him when you see him. So they're embracing that fact that it is comic booky, and as I say, I'm very happy with the actor who's playing Barry Allen. They do a really good job so far.
Yeah, Grant Gust. I was happy with him in Arrow season 2.
Yeah,
they also explained the origin in Arrow season 2.
Yeah.
I think that's going to lead to more supervillains. You know, the whole Blast Wave thing. It's not going to give him just powers. It's going to be that stuff as well. Is that it?
You've nailed it. That's it.
Yeah. When they said, we're going to have superpower villains, I'm just like, I bet that Shockwave gave more people powers than just him.
You nailed it. That's
good.
That's it. There are super villains in this show, and even from the first episode. Well, I'm saying it as I said, I've never felt like I've watched anything more superhero than that first episode. It was spectacular. I loved it. And
great. I'm actually looking forward to it more than I was now.
Yeah, so definitely
it's going to be really good. It's going to be really cool.
Major props for the team, and I hope that it continues. And of course, we're going to talk.
Well, there is one thing. Just before we move on, there is one thing I'm worried about with Arrow and Flash.
Yeah.
They are crossing over later in the series.
Yep.
And I've heard it's Arrow versus Flash.
I haven't heard that yet. But
they're going head to head.
I don't get that vibe from there is an interaction in the episode. I don't get that vibe yet, but if they do that, there'll be a reason. There'll be
they're going to give a decent reason for it, because Arrow's been really strong lately with the series. If Flash has started off great, that's fantastic. They're going to give a reason. It's going to be decent, I think. If they're going to be going head to head, we've established that these two are friends, but there's a distance.
Yeah.
And maybe not clear communication. Sometimes communication can lead to confrontation.
Yeah.
So, they're going to give a decent reason, I think. That they're not just going to beat each other down.
They're pulling, the way I describe it as they're going to be pulling an Angel and Buffy.
Yeah, they're going to be spinning into each other's series quite a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Grant Gust, he can outrun an Arrow, fair enough, but I don't think he's an accomplished fighter as what Oliver Queen is. So it could be interesting. It's like, people will be saying, oh, well, Flash will just run rings around him, but he's not as accomplished fighter yet.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting if they do go head to head. I'd be down for it. We can talk about Reverse Flash, right? Or Professor Zoom.
He's teased in it heavily.
Yeah, he was in the trailer for it. It's like, for those of you who don't know, the yellow and red blur that we saw in the teaser trailer, I'll not say why we saw him in the teaser trailer, but anyone who knows comic books knows that is Professor Zoom or Reverse Flash, however you prefer to talk about it. And he's from the future.
Yep. And there is also a little reference to Wayne Tech in the show. I won't say where, but there is
I thought they would
reference.
Be at some point.
You'll have to look out for it, but there is a little reference. You'll have to keep an eye out for it.
There's a few actually from an analysis of the trailer. They actually pointed out a few things that were references to other things, and that was from the trailer alone.
Yeah, and
so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, definitely major props. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I would recommend it if you like Flash. And we'll move on to your series that you're really looking for.
No, let's go Gotham first.
Gotham.
Brace myself for that one.
I've only watched the first episode.
I haven't watched the first episode. I am so behind at the moment.
There are 3 episodes out so far. I've only watched the first episode, and that was enough for me to go.
We should probably just say it quickly as well. We're behind in England because of the holiday you have in America. So you have 2 weeks. You will have no Gotham. We're behind by 2 weeks because we have the episodes while you were taking a break.
Yeah, I've already seen them because I know of ways.
Yes, I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, but I'm going to say this right now. Gotham, the one major problem that it has is they reference Batman too much.
They're going to have to, really, aren't they, to appease the fans early? You know, the people watching, I know of one person who tuned in specifically because he said, well, it's going to be Batman related. He likes his Batman, that's fair enough. And they're going to need to do it early in the series to reference him enough just to keep Batman fans interested. I hope this is a Gotham series. It's about the city.
Yeah.
And I hope, I can't see it, but I hope that Joe Chill still killed Bruce's parents. You don't mess with an established thing. Also, a Court of Owls later on.
We don't know yet. As I say, I've only watched the first episode because a show has to hook me on the pilot. In the first episode I was watching, I was like, I'll wait for
I love the style of it. The style.
I saw brilliant.
I saw like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's very film noir. I thought
it's got that
it's
noir
dark,
theme.
gritty. Gotham's raining. It looks good. It's just, but as I say, I only watched about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I like the look of it, and of course the actor who plays Jim Gordon actually does do a good role. But the main problem as I have with it is the fact that it so far isn't that interesting, and also the fact that they're trying to reference Batman too much. Like,
wait till they start referencing Joker.
I'm waiting for that point.
It's coming. They had posts up at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I know it's coming. I'll probably wait for the series to finish before I watch it, because it definitely feels like that kind of series that you have to wait for it to finish before watching it. But that's.
Do you think as the series go on, he'll grow a mustache?
Probably.
Just like Jim Gordon, the mustache rises.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if they did do that. But as it is, I'm going to wait for the series to finish before I watch it all, because I think it's that kind of series for me. Normally, I do that with series that has an overall arcing story, and I just want to see how it finishes. So I'll probably wait for it to come out on DVD or wait for the show to finish up so far. But so far, the first episode didn't hook me at all, and just it promises too much while still being very iffy for me personally. But
I've heard from people who are into the comic books. There's a Gotham. I haven't seen it myself yet. There's a Gotham looks amazing. Fish Mooney, played by Jada Pinkett Smith, feels like she should be in a Batman comic.
Yeah.
But she's an original character.
Yeah.
You've got other things in there like Penguin, Poison Ivy. Familiar to the comic book fans. I'm not happy about that myself.
Yeah, Poison Ivy. She's not called Pamela Isley.
She's not?
She's not called Pamela Isley. And she's a kid.
Well, that's fine, because I wouldn't want Batman beating on an old lady when when he grows up.
They show her in the first episode in the background. That's all I'll say. But she isn't called Pamela Isley. But she could change her name. She could change her name in the future, which is a possibility that happens with people. So I don't know. I won't judge it until I've seen the entirety of the series.
I'm gonna see how she is. It's a name at the end.
Yeah.
Comic fan in me is raging a little, but it's a name.
Yeah.
I can get over that. I'm gonna reserve judgment until I see her more in the focus of the episodes.
Yeah.
But
each episode's named after a character, I've noticed, except for the first episode. The second episode, the name of it is called Selina Kyle. They're doing that, so.
Oh no! Don't be talking about characters we know in every episode. I don't need that.
I don't know if that's what they got. As there's only 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes by now out there. I've only seen the name of the second episode, and it is called Selina Kyle. So I was like, oh crap.
The last one of the series is going to be called The Joker, just to keep us watching.
Yeah,
apparently, there's going to be like references in each episode, so maybe this guy's the Joker, maybe this guy's the Joker, maybe. I don't need that either.
No one knows who the Joker is. Not even the Joker knows who he is. I think.
It's what I need from this series is Court of Owls, because the Court of Owls aren't just murderous undead assassins. They're a business. They're in the foundations. They're businessmen. They're lawyers. They're judges. They're in the foundations of Gotham. Hell, Court of Owls established that they made Gotham. They are Gotham.
I don't know too much about Court of Owls.
If we see, Gordon investigating this underground clandestine group of high powerful lawyers and businessmen and all this stuff, that could be interesting. You don't need to overtly say that they're Court of Owls.
Yeah.
But if you have them meet up with masks, we don't know who they are when they're wearing the masks. The owl mask, that could be very interesting. That's the route I would have taken.
The first episode does make a slight reference to some people who do control Gotham, but I don't know if I don't know if it's the Court of Owls, but I don't know too much about the Court of Owls beyond the character Talon, I think her name is.
There's multiple Talons.
Yeah, the one that's in the Batgirl or the Batwoman comic. I can't remember what one she's in, but I only know about that character. I can't remember that Catwoman turned herself in to save her or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head.
If they say like George Hill was an early talent or something, I'd be down with that. They needed to take Bruce Wayne's parents out, and he was like an early talent. They don't have talents yet, but they have people who can do the job for them.
Yeah,
they're influencing things behind the scene. That's what I would have done for Gotham. If they're doing this, I'll be happy.
They make a couple of references to. I can't really say much without spoiling something, so I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it.
No, it's I personally would mind a little spoiler, but for the people watching, we won't.
I won't, but they make some references to the murder and all that, and yeah, it's spoiler if I talk about it, but I guess we'll wrap things up by talking, of course, about. Well, we won't wrap things up. We'll wrap up DC, and then we'll give a little idea I've got. We'll wrap up with Constantine, of course, which hasn't aired yet. But I think both me and you are rather excited for, especially you, since you are a massive Constantine fan. So,
I'm very excited for a UK announcement date.
Yeah.
If they announce it, we're 1 week away from it airing in America.
Yeah.
Can we please get a UK announcement date?
I'm thinking it'll probably be.
He's a British hero. Put him on British TV.
I'm thinking that he'll probably either be. Aired over here maybe a week or two after it or something like that, but
I think we'll be way into the series by the time we finally get an announcement.
As is, worst case scenario, I know how to watch it while it airs in America, so
and I will happily take that route.
I will show you.
I wait for it to come on UK TV because I'm one of those people. It's like I need to get the viewing figures in, so we keep getting more.
Yeah,
otherwise we won't get it in England.
Yeah, I watch it as it airs in America, and if I like the show enough, I'll watch it when it airs over here because that's the. I really hate waiting. I really fucking. I don't get the point of waiting. I don't mind waiting a day for a show to air here, but like a week or 6 weeks or a month or something like that, I'm like, why? I mean, look at
we get the Walking Dead. And, you just want to say we get the Walking Dead the day after.
Yeah, we get the day after it airs in America. Why not do that with the UK here? Because it saves. Here's what it stops. It stops people pirating and it stops people spoilers because people hate waiting. As you.
I predict that I'm gonna have pretty much everything spoiled for me from the comics, but we gotta say they're not going. New 52 Constantine, they're going Hellblazer.
Yeah, I've only read a little bit of the Hellblazer. As it's still a comic I need to get around to finishing because I've already got like 3 or 4 I need to finish. But from what I've read,
when I saw the trailer, I was just like, "Oh, they're going Hellblazer," and then they made a proper trailer, and it said from the DC Comics Hellblazer title. I was just like. Oh, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it, guys. I don't know too much about the Constantine character. As I said, I've read a lot about the Hellblazer. I need to finish it, but I like that fact that we're going supernatural. We're getting our first proper supernatural hero, which is something that DC and Marvel have not done yet, which is explore the magical realm. Which
they could have done. DC. If they let Guillermo del Toro, film that Justice League Dark movie that he's wrought and is sitting on and is waiting. The only reason why DC movies won't let him do it is because they want to get the standard Justice League out of the way. You could have referenced the standard Justice League in the Justice League Dark movie.
Yeah, they've been sitting on the Justice League for 40 years?
For way too long. Is it 2016 we're getting it?
Yeah,
something stupid.
Something like that, yeah, but...
Let us have a Justice League Dark movie. I want to see Constantine and Swamp Thing on the big screen, Just give it to me. I'll pay double. I'll go and see it 3 times. I don't care.
There you go, there you go. I think maybe if Constantine is successful, DC will go, maybe we can actually...
I'm really happy with Matt Ryan cast as Constantine as well, or Constantine. Some people are going to be picky about how we actually say this.
Constantine, doesn't matter.
I'll admit I've been ruined by the American Keanu Reeves movie that I didn't all that enjoy that much, where it was constantly pronounced Constantine.
Yes,
as such, I do it all the time.
Yeah, I pronounce it Constantine. That's my first introduction to that.
The thing is, I actually know someone whose last name is Constantine. They pronounce it Constantine.
Does he walk around in a trench coat and disappears for weeks on end, then says, "I was just out"?
I wish. But everything I've seen for the Constantine show, it looks so good. They've got Chad in there, Chad Kramer. They're hinting at some of the big bads he's going to be facing. They've established that he's an asshole.
Yeah, and they've hinted at Dr. Fate as well.
Yes, in the Constantine study, isn't it? The Dr. Fate helmet is on the table. No, I saw that in the trailer too. I was poring over every scene of that.
Yeah, I think also it does show someone wearing it, but Dr. Fate's only ever been in Smallville, which was not the best portrayal of him personally, but...
The suit was good.
Suit was good. Loved the suit.
The suit was good. The suit was good. Considering the budget they had, I loved the suit of Dr. Fate.
Yeah, the suit looked awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't the best portrayal, you're absolutely right. Yeah. But the suit was amazing, considering it was a TV show.
Yeah. And if they do introduce Dr. Fate and Constantine, there's one actor who I'd love to play him, and he's voiced him in the Justice League TV series, and I can't remember his name, but he's the Magi from the Mummy movies.
I don't remember his name either.
I know it's old.
But no, I didn't watch him in the Smallville series.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't too keen. When they announced that Dr. Fate was going to be in it, I kind of got interested, but I wasn't interested enough. It was like, I don't know the series. It was like on something like Series 8 by then.
Yeah, something like that.
I was like, I don't know the series. I've been lost. And I wouldn't enjoy it just because we're lost in the story. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to be judging this, based on a series I've just been watching a long while.
Yeah.
So I would have been too harsh on it, I felt.
Yeah,
so I was just like, no matter how interested I was to see Dr. Fate, I couldn't watch it.
They did have Hawkman as well, and...
Well, they had the entire Justice League, didn't they?
They had the older Justice League, like Sandman and a few others like that, but... I'm going to say...
I know they had Oliver Queen, they had Green Arrow.
Impulse.
Impulse! Why doesn't Impulse have a movie?
Because...
Why does Impulse not have a movie? He's a really great... he's a really great comic book hero. He deserves a movie.
Yeah, they also had a Cyborg as well, sort of. But it was very sort of.
We didn't really talk about Cyborg when we were talking about Dawn of Justice, did we?
No, because I don't want to talk about him personally.
I don't think he's even going to be in the suit in the movie, which is why I didn't bring him up at the time.
It'll probably just be a quick cameo of the character who's going to become Cyborg or something like that.
I think we'll see the accident.
Probably, yeah. That would
be. It will probably be caused by Superman fighting Batman or something. Yeah. They also said Doomsday might be in that film.
Doomsday's not
a... And that Superman may be killed in it.
Doomsday's not a first...
Rumours?
Yeah, well... Then Man of Steel 2
It's rumours. It's rumours. We've seen the suit, though, but we're not talking about that, the robot suit. Yeah, we're at Constantine. It's just like, I'm excited for it, but I need a UK release date.
We'll find it shortly.
I really need it. It's Hellblazer. I need it. I need it in my life so badly.
Well, you'll have it one way or another, whether it airs in the UK or you go through other means, which we're not.
Yes, I will go through other means because we've not even got a date, and it's a British hero, and we need. I think he'll be more popular in Britain, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
I think Britain will. This isn't detrimental to any Americans who may be watching this. I think the British mentality will understand Constantine a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's just my personal view on it. I think a British comic book reader also gets Constantine that a little bit more. Sales were actually higher in the UK than they were in America.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think we understand that mentality a bit more. He's just a bit
more British.
It's the way his outlook on life, and they seem to be really getting that down. Apparently, he doesn't smoke in the series. I'm fine with that. Like, I'm used to Constantine chain smoking. Like in the comics, he's never without a cigarette. And it's just, but I'm fine with him not smoking. They showed a picture. They tweeted a picture of him sat in a bar, which is perfect because he's British and bar. But he also had a packet of cigarettes with a lighter on the table, and the caption was. Not all demons he faces are literal or something.
Yeah, something like
that.
Like,
oh, is he quitting smoking?
Yeah.
I thought that'd be kind of clever, actually,
He won't be chain smoking, he'll be chain nicotine gumming. Just see him chewing the nicotine gum.
I often thought, like, why can't he use one of those vapor cigarettes?
Maybe.
You know, like he's trying to quit.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like I'm fine with that. There was people like getting really up in arms that Constantine doesn't smoke. I'm like, well, no, because there are laws in America which prevent him from doing so in a TV show.
Yeah, you can't promote
Like,
smoking.
You can have him smoking. It's like okay. Would you rather not have the Constantine TV show? If he can't smoke, I don't want it at all. No,
yeah,
no.
they'll probably do a show him like maybe putting a cigarette down in an ashtray or something. Like he is a smoker, but they won't show him smoking. Like
yeah. Also from the trailer, we know that he did damn someone's soul to hell.
Yeah.
He's an asshole. It's just we're not supposed to root for him. He's a bad guy.
We're not
It just so happens he dabbles in being a hero.
Yeah.
He tries to do the right thing, and he doesn't always succeed.
He's like, I tried to do the good thing.
Really refreshing.
I tried to do the good thing, but it was just too hard, so I just did the bad thing.
Yeah, it explores things like that. He will leave his friends to die.
Yeah.
He will, like, if I can save myself. And they even did this in the New 52, and I applauded that because he left all 3 Justice Leagues to die. Out of all the people who could get out, there was Batman, but that's DC Comics just being because it's Batman.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't always agree with. I thought the focus should be on the villains taking out these new villains, and Constantine also made it out, which made me smile a little inside.
And he was just like. It's like just like Steve's Batman tours. You go out as well, yeah. Yeah, but
that would have been fun if they just met up and just like chilled out on the rooftops a little.
It's just like, so you leave them all to die as well? Yep. Why? I felt like it.
But you left them all to die. Why? Because I'm Batman.
Because I'll save them. I'll bring them back. I'm Batman. I can break the laws of physics and nature because I'm Batman. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so we talked about Constantine. We can't really talk about it too much because it hasn't aired yet. But other than that, they're making some real positive steps.
Yeah.
Everything that I've seen is looking good. I think this is going to be possibly even comic book people who I've spoken to, who've seen the Gotham trailers, they've seen the Flash trailers, they've seen the shows. They're still saying they think this is going to be the strongest show.
Yeah.
You know, that's coming from comic book sources, you know, people familiar with comic books, and even myself, I think it's going to be the strongest show.
Yeah.
If you can embrace the supernatural aspects of it, then...
Well, let's face it, there's a TV show called Supernatural, which has lasted 10 seasons, so...
Yeah, I only got as far as season 8, and I'm going to admit, while watching that, I was thinking, wouldn't a Constantine TV show be brilliant?
Yeah, and also the Misha Collins as well, who plays Castiel, who you got confused as when you were cosplaying as Constantine.
Are you a blonde, Castiel? Fuck off. Essentially, Castiel rips off Constantine's style.
Yeah. I watched Supernatural, I'll say briefly. I started rewatching it, and I'm like, it's got interesting, but it still went on too fucking long.
Yes.
So yeah.
Also, the first 2 seasons of Supernatural were the strongest, and it started going downhill after that.
Yeah. So.
I'd personally, just anyone out there who's thinking about watching it, watch the first 2, and then be done.
Yeah.
Maybe watch episode 1 of season 3 because there is a slight cliffhanger, I believe.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it, but yeah,
and then just stop from there.
Yeah, so there is a Supernatural TV series that's aired long and has lasted a long ass fucking time. So I don't see Constantine being any different. I know a couple of people.
Although it kind of ties in because Jason Ackles voiced Red Hood in your favorite animated feature, and he has to come back for Arkham Knight as
second favorite Batman animated movie all time. First favorite's Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, so it's like Jensen Ackles, he does tie into comic books, so yeah.
I'm saying right now, if they cast Red Hood,
he's fantastic. The acting in Supernatural is great.
Yeah.
Jensen Ackles he needs voice in Red Hood.
He needs to be Red Hood in the movies.
I can see it.
He needs to be.
See it. He's about right. He's a really good choice.
He needs
live action. He's built enough for it.
Yeah.
Red Hood doesn't need to be like that.
No.
Red Hood is subtler.
If they're gonna have Nightwing, they need to have Red Hood. Yeah, with guns.
Yeah, he's when you see him on screen, Jensen Ackles in Supernatural when he's acting and he's angry, it comes across in his entire body. He's good. He holds himself well.
That was pretty much
awkward. He's awkward.
Yeah.
He's great. He'd be a great live action Red Hood.
He's one of the few reasons why I've decided to go back and rewatch it, because he is awesome. And I watched the first episode of season 10, and I'm just like, this could be a fun season.
I've given up on Supernatural myself.
I won't spoil it for people who are going to be watching it, but let's just say they did something very interesting, and I'm kind of want to see where it goes. But, yeah.
I know what that thing is.
Yeah,
they've stopped showing Supernatural in the UK, so I've not been watching it, and I have no intention to.
Okay, spoiler alert for anyone who cares about Supernatural season 10. Click off now if you don't want to hear us. Dean becomes a demon, which is fucking hilarious. It's hilarious, and I love it. But yeah, we'll move on, of course, to the big daddy of all the comic book movies, and that is the one,
the Juggernaut.
The Juggernaut. I'm the motherfucking Juggernaut, bitches.
Not that Juggernaut.
Which is Marvel, and of course, let's just say it, Marvel are the Juggernaut. They are the daddy of comic book movies.
The behemoth. Everyone wants a slice of comic book movies since Marvel started doing them right.
And of course, let's see, starting with Iron Man, not one of the most popular heroes, and turned it into...
They made him popular.
Yep,
At the time, he wasn't popular in the comics, as hard as it may be to believe. He wasn't. And they made him popular.
Yep, and now everyone loves him.
On a movie
played by Robert Downey Jr., and they've just built on that, and they did something.
What an absolutely phenomenal choice to play Tony Stark. Because when Tony Stark and Iron Man was conceived, it was like, bear in mind this was in a time where people were against weapons dealers, and they're just like, I'm going to make a weapons dealer a comic book hero, and you're going to love him. That was Stan Lee's entire thing for Iron Man. And they did. And he's arrogant, and he's an asshole. Who do we get to play this guy?
Robert
Downey Jr.
Who is a former alcoholic who brings a little bit of realism to that role, which I like. And then
the Demon in a Bottle storyline.
Yep, and they just...
Which they touched on in Iron Man 2. I would have preferred maybe a full movie, but you can't have everything.
Yeah, but they built up from Iron Man and just... They basically says, what if we just made a continuous storyline with the movies? And they
comic books.
Like comic books. And they
comics constantly spin into each other.
And they just built on that and built on it until it is now the most successful movie franchise of all time, basically. It's grossed billions by now.
And let's just say, we've been talking so much about comic book universes and, from other companies. Marvel has a universe. Yep. The last movie was Guardians of the Galaxy,
which was amazing.
We've finally gone cosmic.
Yeah, and Guardians of the Galaxy is the second best Marvel movie of all time. I'm saying that right now.
Oh, what's your first? Go on.
Avengers, of course.
I actually see Avengers as my second, but Guardians of the Galaxy is my first.
I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's so weird that when we were building up to Guardians of the Galaxy, everyone was saying this is such a risk, I went, no, it's perfect sense, because you're going to love them. Yeah. It's like, I knew exactly where they were going with it. I knew. I was like, why is everyone so worried about this? This isn't a risk. This is genius.
Yeah, it's also like the fact that Marvel would just like, since we can't have Spider-Man, X-Men, and Fantastic Four back in, let's just grab a random team that nobody knows of, barely. Like, no one but hardcore comic book fans
This is actually the second team as well of Guardians of the Galaxy. Just for you guys out there. Actually, is it Rondo? Is it called Rondo?
Lando?
Is it...
This guy?
Yes, that guy. Yeah. He's actually from the first team, if I remember right, of Guardians.
Yeah, I know that much. I've looked up a little bit in Guardians of the Galaxy. I know that he's originally supposed to be the original one of the original members, which was interesting. And I liked him in that movie because he was awesome, and he killed an entire fucking squadron of fucking guys with an arrow. It just went...
By whistling.
Dead. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy was like that one movie that nobody expected to be good, but it is.
In the build-up to that movie coming out, anyone who would listen, I would say to them, you have to go and see it.
Yeah,
you have to.
And of course, the Awesome Mix Volume 1, which I bought in a fucking heartbeat.
I bought on CD too. Now, you see, that is also really clever, because parents would probably take their kids to that, right?
Yeah.
And their kids get comic book characters on screen, and it's a fun, enjoyable, funny romp. But the parents also get the soundtrack from the late 70s.
Yep.
So they're being entertained by the music and the pop culture references that Peter Quill was making that the kids won't get.
Yeah, I love that.
I was like, this is genius.
And
everything about it was enjoyable.
And I gotta give major props to James Gunn. And of course, even though here's the worst part of that film, in all honesty, and this isn't saying much, was Dave Bautista's acting, but it works.
No. Did you laugh?
I laughed. That's what I'm saying.
Right, comic acting is the hardest to do. Yeah. If you laughed, he succeeded.
Yeah,
there's no two ways about it.
He was not. He wasn't a very experienced actor, but it worked for him in the role. That's what I'm saying. And saying that his acting was the worst part is not a big deal because it was meant to be kind of that bad, but good at the same time. Which I gotta give him a
part to do is with his race. They're very literal people.
Yeah. And
I was just like, I loved him. I thought there was nothing wrong with him. And Vin Diesel, in every film he ever does, he's Vin Diesel, apart from this one.
He was I am Groot.
He was Groot. And major props to his voice acting.
Yeah.
He didn't just go in there. He went in there on stilts.
Yeah.
To get into the part.
Wow.
It's just like, okay, I'm a 10-foot tall tree.
Yeah.
Coming in stilts.
And
he got into the part. And he voiced Groot for all the languages. And he didn't just record one take, I am Groot. He did hundreds.
Yeah, he
did hundreds of the same line. You watch him in Italian, that's Vin Diesel. You watch him in Japanese, that's Vin Diesel.
I love it.
So he is international Groot.
Yeah, I love that. Vin Diesel is a comic book geek, and he's just
massive props to him. Oh yeah, he's a geek. He plays World of Warcraft.
And
he used to play Dungeons and Dragons back in the day. He admits it openly.
I love that, and he just embraces that role, and I just love it. And of course, as I say, we're building up to Avengers 2: Age of Ultron. And Avengers 1 was just that film that you were just like, please be good, please be good, please be good. And who did they get to do it? Motherfucking Joss Whedon, and he nailed it. Like, you can't tell I'm a big Joss Whedon fan. I have the fucking comic book Buffy he wrote, so.
Well, he's overseeing the entire thing.
Yeah, he's doing.
He's not just directing the odd movie. He is. When these directors sit down with their scripts, they have to go to him.
Yeah, and make it work.
It's just like, okay, here's the continuity of the film that I'm making. What are you planning for the overall arc?
Yeah.
And you've got to put this in here.
Yeah.
He oversees that. He's overseeing the entire damn thing.
Yeah.
That must be tiring, but let's face it, the Marvel quality movies, apart from Iron Man 2, don't dip in quality.
Yeah,
They're constantly entertaining.
Iron Man 2 is the worst out of all of them.
Iron Man 2 is the worst out of all.
But that's not saying
It's
much.
still enjoyable.
Still enjoyable, and I just love it.
You can still watch it and be entertained, but it's not the best.
Yeah, and I just love that they're building up and they're using like more obscure characters. They're like what obscure character can we try this time? Ant-Man.
Ant-Man is leading the charge for Wave 3.
Yeah, I'm like, how the fuck are they going to make Ant-Man work?
That is risky. Now, even me who backed the Guardians, I'm thinking this is massively risky.
Yeah, this is a huge risk. Let's face it, Ant-Man
has
2 powers. He's really, really fucking smart. He's equal in smartness to Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark and Mr. Fantastic. He also has an R2, which he can communicate and shrink to the size of an ant, and also if he reverses it, he can go to a giant. So...
But they have said heist movie.
So heist.
Now they're not giving us a superhero movie out and out.
Yeah.
And I applaud them for that heist movie. They're going with the second Ant-Man, not the first. It's not Hank Pym. It's Scott Lang, is it? I can't remember his name or something. Not Ant-Man fan. But it's they're going with the second Ant-Man. They're still going to be showing the original, I believe. But I'm a bit worried as well that they have got rid of the original director.
What was his name? The director of Hot Fuzz and that, wasn't it?
I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The problem is creative differences was stated as the reason. And Ant-Man has been in production for a long time now. Yeah. And I think it was constant interruption from the studio that eventually just made him just go, I quit.
No,
I quit. Because they were saying, okay, now we're in this year now, you need to... mix this in here now.
From what I've heard, this is what I've heard. The main guy who's in charge of all the movies, whose name I can't remember, he's head of Marvel Studios. He oversees everything and wants everything to flow in a nice narrative, and he wants everything to feel like a Marvel movie. Edgar Wright's Ant-Man apparently wouldn't have felt like a Marvel movie. That was the problem. Which, as long as they didn't argue and leave on better terms, then there's no problem. It says it was just creative differences, and you just went, right, you can find someone else. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm just gonna go move on now. So yeah,
they did hand it over to a capable director. I can't remember his name. No. I know that he can do well, and the first thing he did when he was instated, and this kind of proves there was no bad blood in a way, was he's going to stay true, faithful to what Edgar Wright wrote.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So you got rid of Edgar Wright, and this guy who's replaced him wants to stay true to what Edgar Wright wrote?
He's probably going to try and stay true to the theme and the overall stuff that you wrote, but you'll probably have to still make it a bit more
fit it into the arc. Yeah, which we're leading towards Thanos eventually.
Thanos, yes. Can't wait for that.
So, and they showed him in Guardians of all places.
He just went.
I kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But I still didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin is brilliant.
Yeah, Thanos was really fucking good, and I just liked all the performances, and I just he was just like, I have the power to destroy your entire fucking planet. Don't fuck with me. And I'm just like,
and that's what we're leading towards, people. Yeah. It's just like, we've got Age of Ultron yet to come. I believe, if my predictions are right, Jarvis.
Yeah.
How we pilot the Iron Man suits. I think we're going to get a militarized AI version of Jarvis, and that will become Ultron.
Probably, yeah, and that'll probably... I think it was Hank Pym that originally created the Ultron, if memory serves me.
Yes, I think this was why Ant-Man was meant to be out before we could establish Hank Pym created Ultron. But I think now it's pushed back, of course.
They'll probably reference Hank Pym creating Ultron in some way, shape, or form. Like, he was the creator, but he died under mysterious circumstances. For some strange reason, this giant robot hand landed on top of him and squished him for some reason. It was an accident.
The funny thing is, anyone thinking of going to get the Age of Ultron graphic novels to prepare themselves for the film, don't. They're bad. They're very bad.
Yeah.
So don't read the comic. Actually, wait for the movie. Yeah. Age of Ultron. Because I guarantee it's going to be better.
Yeah, and also I like the fact that Marvel do actually try and keep us close to their continuity as problem, because the first villain that the Avengers went up against was Loki. The first villain they went up to in the movies was Loki. So
I kind of actually love that Loki has a fandom now.
Yeah.
Mostly of women.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's just like, whenever I look at him, it's like, he's sweating, he's got greasy hair. But I think the fact that he's bumbling is kind of endearing. He tries so hard, but he always fails.
And what happened at the end of Thor: The Dark World?
He won.
He won. He is king. He is king of Asgard now, and Thor doesn't know.
It may be under, duplicitous circumstances, but he is king.
Thor's just like, I'm going to go back to Earth now, father. I'll see you later. And Loki just goes... I love it.
That's on the throne.
He's just like,
we're building up. There's a lot of plot threads happening. Yeah. We're building up to so many things. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. Because I honestly thought when Avengers 3 Thanos rolls around, I honestly thought Marvel would be done.
Nope, they'll keep going.
Then they'll be like, we've made all the money in the world. We don't need to do any more movies.
I think they say they've got 5 phases planned out.
5? Now, that ties in nicely to the news that came out today.
Yep, and before we move on to that little bit, I forgot what I was going to mention, I can't remember.
The Infinity Gems? Something to do with that, maybe?
Not the Infinity Gems, it was something else. Oh, yeah. Marvel have flat out stated that they won't recast any member of they're fully willing to recast members of the Avengers like Thor, Iron Man, if the actors decide to stop. I'm saying this right now. If Chris Hemsworth ever decides to stop doing Thor, I'm betting that they'll have a female Thor. I'm betting.
Oh yeah, have you read the first?
I got the first. I have the first issue of the female Thor. I've not got the second one because it's not out yet, I don't think. But
no, it isn't.
There's, for those who don't know, in the comic books, Thor's a female now. Even though the real Thor is still around,
and Captain America's black. Deal with it.
Deal with it. What's the fucking problem? Here's the thing. Thor's been a fucking frog before.
Yeah, he's been a frog.
And also, technically speaking, there has already been a female Thor. Her name was Storm. Because she wielded Mjolnir at one point, if memory serves me. So, shut the fuck up, you bitches.
Thing is, Thor hasn't gone anywhere. He's still around. He's the unworthy Thor now.
Yeah.
He isn't worthy to lift Mjolnir. He uses an axe now.
Yeah.
So just like he's gonna come back. They've got a movie to promote.
Yeah.
He will be worthy again. Don't worry about it. And Captain America will be white again. You know, they've got a movie to promote in Age of Ultron. It's not gonna last forever.
Yeah.
But enjoy this while it lasts.
Yeah. So I do like the fact that Marvel have stated that if an actor decides no longer to play the role, they'll just recast them. And I'm betting that if Thor does a bit, Chris Hemsworth says, "I don't want to be Thor anymore," we'll have a female Thor within the next movie. I guarantee you.
I think we should be more worried about Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. has stated that he is coming very close to giving up on the roles, which, let's face it, he's put his heart and soul into the franchise.
He is really behind the success.
Yeah, without him...
If Iron Man failed...
Yeah, we wouldn't have...
we wouldn't have any of these movies.
Yeah.
And Robert Downey Jr. did such a good job.
Yeah.
That I've got to admit... When Iron Man was coming out, I was going to see it regardless because I'm a comic book fan. It's what I do. But I honestly thought if this movie fails, we're not going to have another superhero movie for a long time.
Yeah. After the last superhero movie boom ended with, I can't even remember what movie caused the destruction of it again. I think
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, that's the movie.
Is there any reason why it couldn't end with any other movie? It had to be that one.
It had to be that one. So yeah, I hadn't succeeded, we wouldn't have it. And in all honesty, if Robert Downey Jr. does decide to say farewell to the Iron Man franchise, let him say farewell. It will be sad to see him go, but I'm sure Marvel will recast him as someone else. But
don't recast him.
They won't recast him, they'll kill him off.
I don't want to see anyone but Robert Downey Jr.
Same here.
That's me. He's definitive Iron Man.
He is definitive Iron Man, but we will see a
recast. If they're going to do Iron Man, keep it as the empty suit.
Yeah.
They've shown they can do it in Iron Man 3. Have Jarvis be Iron Man.
Yeah, it could work.
It is now a robot.
Yeah. We'll see.
You can still have your Iron Man, but I don't want Tony Stark.
Yeah, well, we'll have to. They will recast.
That's the way I view it. I don't want.
We do know that he is at least going to do one more Avengers film and one more Iron Man film. We know that much because he's basically stated it, that this will be the last one probably for him.
He did announce last week Iron Man 4. That is true. But whether he is in the role of Iron Man, we do not know.
Yeah, we don't know that. And of course, we'll move on to the big news that you want to talk about. Which, have I got it here? Yes, I do. Which is Marvel are going to be adapting Civil War.
Civil War! I don't know how they're going to do this.
For those who are
Go on,
For those who are unaware, Civil War is the storyline in which the superheroes in the Marvel Universe are literally split down the middle with the Registration Act, which basically tells superheroes to sign the Registration Act and reveal who they are under their mask to the public. And
Captain America is the bad guy. He's an outlaw in it.
Yep.
You can't deny that. He is an outlaw in Civil War.
And this one is Iron Man's side versus Captain America's side, and Captain America is the bad guy. And this also has... I don't know how they're going to deal without Spider-Man, though. That's my main concern.
You can easily get around that. He was kind of pivotal in Civil War because he was a major pawn, if you will. But there is one thing that's worrying me about Captain America 3, which is apparently what Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in. I hope that movie isn't the Civil War storyline. Like it's discussed.
Yeah.
If Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in Captain America 3, do you think it could quite possibly be anything to do with the Tony Stark director of S.H.I.E.L.D. comic books? Could we see Tony Stark no longer as Iron Man, but as director of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I haven't read that one, but of course, well, may as well mention briefly Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., who Phil Coulson is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the moment, because S.H.I.E.L.D., after...
Well, he's in charge of rebuilding
it after what happened in Captain America 2, when Hydra came back. and they're still
Hail
around.
Hydra.
Hail Hydra! I love that slip. But yeah, that could work in all honesty. But Tony Stark, while he's good, funny as Captain America's the leader. Like, he's the guy.
Well, come on, you got to admit the way they played off each other in Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, hated each other relationship. Yeah. They respect each other.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun if
that would be a lot of fun.
Tony Stark was director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
this is boss.
Steve's like, fuck.
Tony Stark could be power stripping it all over. But really, Tony can know Phil Coulson is alive.
Yeah.
Because it could mean the Avengers would disband.
Yeah, it could be. Well,
the way that they kept them together was with Coulson's death. They never told him he was alive afterwards. So it's just like, because it could see the Avengers destabilized.
Yeah,
that's what brought them together.
Yeah, none of the Avengers know he's alive. Yeah, well, alive. I
think Thor has the best chance of finding out.
Yeah, with Lady Sif, but Lady Sif's a warrior, and Coulson made her promise not to tell him, so she'll keep her word. Which, by the way, Lady Sif was awesome in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She kicked fucking ass. I'm saying that right now.
I'm just hoping that if they go in Civil War, it isn't in Captain America 3. I don't know what they're going to do for Captain America 3, but I do hope Civil War is bigger than one movie.
I think there's no doubt about it. Look at this book. Look how thick it is. It
is amazing.
You could make easily like 5 movies out of this storyline. I think my camera's froze. Give me a minute.
It could be an entire story arc.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, over the multiple movies, we do build up to a story arc. And I really do think they could run a story through multiple movies.
Yeah, my cam. Give me a second, my cam's got up on me. Video. XSplit. Is that picking it up?
Yeah. I'm not seeing you. Oh.
Yeah, okay. Give me one. I'm probably going to have to... yeah, give me 1 moment. I'm going to have to close XSplit. Close it. Okay. Well, give me 1 moment, Clan. You maybe see a quick edit or a quick part 3. We'll back in a minute.
I need the bathroom anyhow, so it's good timing.
There you go. See you in a minute.